Tonight on Connections Live, we'll meet the owner of the world's largest Batman memorabilia collection. We'll hear about a famous pie restaurant from Winchester, Indiana. And we'll visit with a Muncie-based record store. Connections Live starts right now.
Hello and welcome to Connections Live, where we showcase ordinary people with extraordinary stories. I'm Sam Meyer.
And I'm Esther Sarah Bauer. Tonight we'll tell the stories of a Guinness World Record holder, an incredibly tasty pie eatery, and a record store right here in downtown Muncie. So let's get started with our first story.
Boom, pow. These words and more can be found at what is considered to be the largest Batman collection in the world, and it is right here in central Indiana.
That's right, home to over 3,000 different pieces of memorabilia. Kevin Silva's collection has been growing since he was age 5. Let's take a look at what Kevin has to say about his collection.
I've been gathering up Batman since I was about 5 years old. The television show aired January 12, 1966, and I turned 5 January 6, 1966, so a fresh little 5-year-old. And my dad, one of his biggest clients was RCA, and through his connections with RCA, he got us for Christmas in 1965 a 19-inch color television. So my first experience with Batman was on a 19-inch color TV, which was quite overwhelming. And it's not that you start to collect things at 5. Your mom throws your stuff away or she keeps it. And my mom put a couple things away for me that I packed around in a box for quite some time. And, you know, as I grow older, comics, of course, I always bought. And there wasn't a whole lot of merchandising. Some stuff for the TV show. Kind of fell out of it, in my teenage years somewhat. And then the 1989 Michael Keaton movie came out, and it opened up the floodgates for merchandising and kind of re-sparked my interest in it. And from 1989 to date, I've been gathering this stuff up pretty feverishly. I watch a lot of eBay auctions. You know, I'll go to flea markets. The logo I see in my sleep, I can walk into a store and I'll spot that Batman logo from the door. What I try to do now is I'm a little more refined in my collecting. If I have 3 items and I know there's 4 available, I look for the 4th item to complete the set. I like packaging. It's all licensed, and I like the look of certain items. I'm so condensed, and I only have so much space to put it. Sometimes I look at sizes of, like, this will fill a space. The first item that probably I've got my lunchbox from being 5 years old. I still have it, and I own a couple placemats from '66. A felt cap that I'm lucky enough to have pictures of me at 5 wearing the felt cap, but I still have it. Again, thanks to my mom. I've got a collection of music boxes from 1978. There's 5 of them, and I started buying the lamps that match them. And there's one lamp I've been unable to find that about once a week I get on eBay just to see maybe if it's up, and I haven't found it yet. Probably my single favorite piece is about 18 years ago I had a guy custom make an Adam West outfit from the TV show, and it cost me a little bit of money, and that's probably my single favorite piece. The Guinness record I've had for 2 years and 4 months now, and I beat the original record by over 1,000 pieces. And Guinness contacted me, and they were relentless. And at first I wanted no part of it because it would require going through and counting everything. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to go through and count everything. I don't have enough time to do that. What had actually happened, a buddy of mine from high school worked for a company called Cinefex. They're out in LA somewhere. In September of 2013, they had Batman Month. And he went to his boss and said, hey, this guy's got a boatload of Batman. So they put together a little 5-minute clip that they put out on a Friday, and they titled it The World's Largest Collection of Batman, and I never said that. Well, that Monday I started getting emails from Guinness. After about 4 or 5 emails going back and forth, I just relented and took 3 days off of work, made a map of my basement, basically where my collection's housed, and started at a starting point, and with a notepad started writing stuff down and logged that all into a spreadsheet. Then went through and took pictures of sections of the walls and had those printed in 8x10s. And you could literally start at the starting point with my spreadsheet and almost count it from there. And sent them the information. The package was torn open. Someone stole all my pictures, and at that time I told them, I said, I'm done. That's, you know, and it cost, you know, more money, and I went ahead and did it. And give them credit, they gave me the thing in about 2 weeks. They were pretty quick about it. When I got the Guinness record, the count was 25. I sent them 2,554 things, and in the spreadsheet that I amassed, I highlighted any Superman, Green Lantern, Flash in red so they could count it or not count it, and they didn't. So the record was 2,501 pieces, and that was in October of 2013. And my count today is I'm past 3,200 pieces. An acquaintance of mine works for Pepsi, and back in 2005, they did a Mountain Dew thing where they had a cooler with a Batman on it. And the way DC works is they want all that back when they're done with it. So it's destroyed, so it can't be bought and sold, basically. And his boss graciously gave me one on the condition that it was to stay in my collection, and that was kind of a neat piece. And a couple months ago, I was up at Barnes & Noble, and they had a pretty nice display, cardboard, and put my name on it, and they gave it to me. And then I bought a whole bunch of the merchandise, so I've got like a complete display with unopened merchandise. So that's kind of a special piece. I've got some other items that have the Batman logo on it that are a little odd. For instance, got a shell, a hermit crab shell that's got a Batman logo on it. Well, Adam West is my favorite Batman. There's no doubt about that. They Warner Brothers released a Blu-ray box set a year ago with all 3 episodes of the TV show. Well, Warner Brothers was here in May of 2014 with the film crew. They didn't indicate where or what they were doing with what they had filmed, and that was in May. And fast forward to October, I had the pleasure of meeting Adam West for the first time. And as I approached him, Adam's 87, 88 years old, really good shape, fit as, got all his wits and everything. And as I walked up to him, he kind of reared his head back, and he goes, "I know you. Where do I know you from?" We never met before. I don't know. Where do you know me from? And he had screened this DVD, and it was included in the box set. And it's a 30-minute piece called Holy Memorabilia Batman, and it's me and Adam West, Ralph Garman, Mark Ray Coop, and another gentleman whose name eludes me. So that was kind of cool. It was kind of full circle almost to be included in the box set, because the TV show is what sparked all my interest in this. And Adam West knew who I was. I had a poster that Burt Ward had signed for me years and years ago, and wanted Adam to sign. We charged us $80 for an autograph, and he leaned into me and he's like, "I'm gonna only charge you $60." And I said, "I'll pay you $80, no problem." He goes, "Oh, just $60's fine." I said, "Okay." So that was kind of cool, really. But really, really nice guy. And Burt Ward also, really, really nice guys.
What a cool selection of memorabilia. Seeing it all come together in one place is amazing.
Without a doubt, I'm really jealous of how awesome it all looks.
Don't go away. We have more stories coming up right after the break.
Welcome back to Connections Live. Our next story is about a pie restaurant based out of Winchester, Indiana.
Under the management of Sarah Carter, Mrs. Wick's Pie serves some of the best pies in Indiana.
Last week, we got a chance to sit down with Sarah. Let's see what she had to say about Mrs. Wick's pies.
We buy Wick's pies, like the sugar cream, pecan, German chocolate, peanut butter, the frozen pies. But here at Mrs. Wick's, we make cream pies, lemon, coconut, butterscotch, banana, chocolate. We make our own fruit pies, the soups, salads, all that's made from here. The owner's names is Dwayne and Ruby Wickersham, so Wick was his nickname. So when they had the restaurant, it was Mrs. Wick's, because Ruby wanted to serve pie, soup, salads, and sandwiches, and so the restaurant was built for her, something she wanted. Ruby wanted somewhere to so people could sit down and have a slice of pie, and so it was something that she wanted, and so they made that happen in 1986. know, you have to try the pie is what I tell them. And we offer so many different flavors, and I tell them about that and that we serve breakfast, lunch, supper, have soup, salads. We make the soups from scratch. The restaurant is famous for, of course, sugar cream pie because it's the state pie. So everybody loves to try the sugar cream, pecan, and of course, apple, peach, cherry, and we have diabetic pies too as well. Every day you get someone new around the state that's never heard of Mrs. Wick's pies before. And so you get to meet a lot of people. Just last week we was getting ready to have that snowstorm and they came clear from Kentucky just to buy pie. I just think it has a unique taste. And I think you don't have that unique taste in pies anymore, you know. It was a family recipe.
While others might not make them like they used to, it looks like Wick's Pies has stuck to their roots.
Those pies look so good. We should take a trip there this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. To find out more about the restaurant, you can visit their Facebook page at facebook.com/Mrs. Wicks.
For our final story this evening, we've got the chance to sit down with Dan Walter, the owner of his shop, Dan's Downtown Records.
The shop started out from humble beginnings and is meticulously looked after by Dan.
Name a record and he'll tell you which crate it's in. Let's put on some music and head on down over to Dan's Downtown Records.
Well, Dan's Downtown Records, and I was reminded of this just the other day, is my personal record collection. Only, of course, it's open to the public. I hadn't really considered it that way for a long time, but that's what this really is. This is like my record collection that I allow people to come in and purchase items out of, and I hadn't really thought about it that way for a long time. Well, when I started out, of course, I had came from Karma, where CDs were still, you know, our main product. And however, I saw that vinyl was beginning to blossom, and that's where I concentrated my efforts, was getting more and more vinyl. And so I took my last $300 of unemployment money and I borrowed $300 from my dad, and I rented a storefront, an old abandoned storefront that had been offices. And me and a buddy went in and we took the walls out of all the offices and turned it into a retail space, and that's how I opened my store. It's tough to be the manager and the stock boy and the order guy, and there's a lot to do. A lot of people think it's probably all fun and games, but there's a lot of stuff that has to be done. My philosophy for the store is that I should have as many different things as possible for people to look at as far as records, and of all different kinds, not just the kind I like, but everything. And of course, you'll find a lot of different and interesting areas. I mean, I have a crate of Hawaiian music, a crate of gospel, black gospel music. I've got a lot of soundtracks. I've got a lot of blues. I've got a lot of jazz. I've got a wide variety of types of music on vinyl, and that's my goal, is to have as many as I possibly can. I'm still exploring music myself, and that's why I'm still doing the store, because there are other people that are still exploring music, and they want something real instead of something, you know, a file or whatever. So that's why I'm still doing this, is because I'm still exploring music myself. This has been a labor of love, but labors of love often don't pay well. And that's kind of the only bad thing about it, is it's not been a really good living, really. I mean, most people couldn't have done it. I mean, they really couldn't. This thing is not, it's not a necessity. Everything here is a desire or a want or something that you could do without if you needed to. So it's fun and it's music, and that's what I love.
He's truly a man of music, and he seems like the man with quite a range of musical taste.
It certainly does come with the job. To find out more about what Dan has to offer, you can visit his Facebook page at facebook.com/DansDowntownRecords.
We have a special musical guest for you after the break. Connections Live will be right back. Welcome back to Connections Live. Brad Kleinschmidt is an acoustic rock musician based right here in Muncie, Indiana. In July of 2015, Brad released his second CD entitled Gone.
He has also been featured on Comcast's Inside Tracks and CBS's Tomorrow's Hits Today radio station. And we are lucky enough to have him in the studio today. Thanks for joining us, Brad.
Thank you. Thank you for pronouncing my last name correctly, too. Very, very cool.
We tried. We spent night and day trying to get that pronunciation down.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it.
Oh, my goodness. So how did you get started in music?
You know, I've loved music since day one, I think. You know, my mom and dad are really into it. I used to follow my brother into his guitar lessons as a kid. Spotted a guitar in grade school that I wanted, and my mom was like, if you want it, earn it. So, you know, cutting lawns and taking out the garbage and laying down money each week. But that was my first guitar, and it just sort of, you know, just morphed over time. You know, never stopped doing it just because I love it. It's sort of my yoga.
Wow.
Now, Brad, what do you kind of find as some of your musical influences?
You know, I'd hate it sounds cliche, but everything. You know, I grew up with an uncle who was really into classic rock, so he loved the BTO, Doobie Brothers, Boston, Eagles. You know, I loved growing up that Seattle sound with Pearl Jam and Nirvana and Soundgarden and all those guys. Still love it to this day. And you know, I have a daughter who's into, you know, went through the Justin Bieber phase, Shawn Mendes, Ed Sheeran. You know, so I love it all and can appreciate it all. So
Awesome. Do you have any upcoming shows?
Yeah. Great place in Indianapolis, Union 50 off Mass Ave. That's on the 18th of February. Also Connor's Pub in Broad Ripple on March 3rd. So those are a couple ones coming up.
Now, where can we find some of your music online?
Yeah, both of my CDs are on iTunes, Spotify, also on Reverb Nation /RBK Music, and also Facebook. You can look me up at Brad K Music. Trying to leave the Kleinschmidt out of there. So.
It's a good idea. Awesome.
Well, thank you so much for being here tonight. That's all we have for tonight's episode of Connections Live, where we showcase ordinary people
with their extraordinary stories. Have a great night.
My mind is telling me something, and odds are it adds up to nothing. Well, I'm taking my time, gonna try to feel fine, 'cause I don't know when I'll be gone. I'm tired of the days played too safe. I won't be afraid of mistakes. Well, I've got to find time to help me unwind, 'cause I don't know when I'll be gone. When I'm gone, I hope that I have good friends who miss me. When I'm gone, I've got favorite people to go see, and I'm taking my time, and I hope that I find that I got a long time to simply be me. Yeah. These days it moves like a freight train, and some days it feels like a cold rain. Well, I've got to find time to try to stay kind, 'cause I don't know when I'll be gone. I try to live each day better, but I know each day my body's a little deader. Still searching for time to keep in tune with my mind, 'cause I don't know when I'll be gone. When I'm gone, I hope that I have good friends who miss me. When I'm gone, I've got favorite people to go see. When I'm taking my time, and I hope that I find that I got a long time to simply be me. Well, I try hard each day to really mean what I say and get a little better. Though I stumble and fall, I remember that I gave it all. Well, I try to love a little better, make time for friends, no regrets when I'm gone. Each day is breaking me down. I'm grateful with good friends around, so I'm taking my time, and I hope that I find, 'cause I don't know when I'll be gone. He makes his money and he puts it in a jar. At the end of the week, you know it won't go far, but he knows that his heart beats the way it should. She sweats through deadlines and it suffocates stress. Can't wait for Friday